With Nikola Jokic announcing his first signature shoe with Chinese brand 361, it's becoming clear that Nike's NBA roster, while still featuring some of the league's biggest stars, is the thinnest it's been in years. What's even crazier? Nikola Jokic, a three-time MVP and NBA champion, was actually signed by Nike, but ended up leaving because of the insane disrespect they showed him. Trust me, the reason will leave you gobsmacked. Oh, and where have we heard a story like this before? Oh, right, with one Wardell Stephen Curry. These missteps were so bad, they deeply insulted the greatest shooter of all time, driving him straight into the arms of a scrappy up-and-comer called Under Armour. The rest, as they say, history. Steph's not just a four-time NBA champion. He's the face of basketball's modern era. Nike had him and lost him. Today we're diving into Nike's epic mismanagement of these NBA legends and how it has ended up costing them tens of billions of dollars. But even worse, it could damage their trust with the American audience, a potential death knell for the brand's dominance. Let's talk. It's the year 2013 and exciting young point guard Stephen Curry has reinvigorated the Golden State Warriors fanbase since coming into the league 4 years ago. From the time he was drafted till 2013, he had showed excellent promise and potential. But to be fully transparent, he had not yet become the Steph Curry we know today. Though the signs were absolutely there, he hadn't yet won his first MVP or championship. But Nike seemed to be first to that party anyway, by signing him as an athlete upon being drafted. This looked to be another Nike slam dunk in a cabinet full of them. Then, what is widely regarded as one of the biggest marketing blunders in history unfolded. With Steph's shoe contract about to expire, it seemed like a no-brainer done deal that he would re-sign with them and ride off into the sunset together. At the time, this scrappy new company called Under Armour was offering Steph $4 million a year plus a guaranteed signature shoe, while Nike was offering him $2.5 million and declined to match Under Armour's offer. Yeah, it may sting a little, but that's actually pretty common business practice. Of course, the company that nobody knows with zero track record is going to offer much more and need to do so than the company who is the dominant player by far in Nike. But what happened next was so awful and shocking that one can argue it harmed Nike's reputation forever. On the day of the pitch meeting, when presenting Steph's slideshow, they mispronounced his name as Stephon instead of Stephen. And you're not gonna believe this, but one of the slides had Kevin Durant's photo in it. So one of the slides intended to pitch Kevin Durant was carelessly left in the presentation for Steph Curry. My goodness, the disrespect. And this stung extra badly because Steph had already endured so much disrespect at that point just based on his size and injury history. To be then disrespected like that on top of it is absolutely and utterly inexcusable. But this story has a happy ending for the hero, because here's the best part. Since becoming the undisputed face of Under Armour, all Steph has done is win 4 championships, 2 MVPs, and become the greatest shooter of all time by a country mile. The even better part? The Golden State Warriors franchise, worth $315 million in 2009 when they drafted him, is now worth $8.2 billion. And Steph's added value to scrappy, little-known Under Armour is an added $14 billion. Talk about sticking it. And talk about David using a rocket launcher to beat Goliath. Oh my God. What's worse is that Steph Curry is one of the most loyal NBA superstars. If Nike hadn't so epically botched this deal, he would have absolutely signed a lifetime deal with them, as he did with his Golden State Warriors and recently with, oh yeah, Nike's big thorn, Under Armour. But imagine what Nike could have done with a loyal, homegrown superstar like Steph Curry. And how many hundreds of billions have they left on the table if them being that much bigger than Under Armour? Imagine with their resources what they could have done. Well, we don't have to imagine because, oh look, 10 years later and they still haven't learned their lesson as they just let another ultra loyal, homegrown, undervalued NBA legend walk out the door and sign with a no-name brand. This one is just as stupid and confusing. And yet again, they saw the immense potential in Jokic and signed him. But the reason he left? They refused to give him a signature shoe. And this might be worse because it happened in 2023. After he had already won 2 MVPs and a title, already established himself as one of the best players in basketball. How on planet Earth are you not gonna give a man who is considered the greatest draft steal of all time, one of the greatest centers of all time, his own signature shoe? You're telling me Nike, with literally the whole world's resources, couldn't have created an electric campaign for one of the NBA's biggest success stories and Serbia's favorite son? Give me a break. Call this what it is. It is arrogant and complacent incompetence from a brand that has gotten too used to its position as the dominant basketball choice. The treatment of NBA legends like Steph Curry and Nikola Jokic has forever tarnished Nike's reputation in NBA circles. This was confirmed by the Sports Illustrated article on the subject, which stated that Nico Harrison's reputation took such a massive hit that he no longer now works for the company. Nico Harrison at the time was vice president of basketball operations for Nike and had built a big cachet for being close with top NBA superstars like Kobe Bryant. So imagine how big that mess up was that this man is no longer working for Nike after having previously served for them for 19 years. And while they can use guys like Nico Harrison as a scapegoat and play the blame game all they want, it's clear in the case of Nikola Jokic 10 years later, this moronic mismanagement is alive and well. Is it a coincidence then that Nike is just coming off its worst year in its company's history in 2024? I think not. And it's a clear sign of losing public faith, which is the last thing any mainstream brand wants. Of course, Nike isn't going anywhere, and they are still the top dog in the basketball shoe market, especially because of the Air Jordan batteries in their back. But their position as the overwhelming top dog and best option is fast dwindling unless they change the way they relate to the NBA's best players.